Oh, Simone, a leader, on and off. 11-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles got into a social media scuffle with Riley Gaines, former NCAA swimmer who finished behind three cisgender competitors and tied for fifth place with swimmer Lia Thomas, a transgender woman who followed all rules to participate. Gaines has since lobbied against the inclusion of trans women in the women's division of sports, been a frequent guest on right-wing media, travels nationwide for panels advocating against transgender people, and campaign for anti-trans candidates for public office. So we'll get into more of the details, but I want to pause there because think about this. If you really care about an issue, and she doesn't have to agree with perhaps you or I, if she doesn't believe that this is appropriate for transgender women to compete against her, that is Riley Gaines' right. But the fact that she's made a career out of this, and I'm not opposed to advocates getting paid for their time, their efforts. People have to live. And if they feel strongly, they feel strongly. But when it turns into an anti-trans candidate that you are campaigning for, it turns into something different. It moves beyond a discussion, a disagreement. You see, because with discussions and disagreements, there's the ability, if you really are a passionate, integrity-filled person, to change your mind. I don't know everything. I want to know more. Maybe I'll change my position. But when you're locked in and this is your brand, you can't do that, can you? You can't. At least I don't really see it happen often. You need this to continue because you're making a living off of it. So let's give you more of the details here. Simone Biles versus Riley Gaines. I know who started it though, Simone, don't you worry. This war started when Riley Gaines posted a picture of a girls' softball team and called their star player, quote, a boy. Okay. Comments off, LOL, to be expected when your star player is a boy. I think she's really cute with the LOL. Or again, if you're serious, if you're passionate about something, what's so funny, Riley? Simone Biles saw this and would reply to Gaines, writing, Riley Gaines, you're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race? Straight up sore loser. And when you're the most decorated Olympic champion of all time, Simone Biles, decorated gymnast of all time, you can call somebody a sore loser. She's earned it. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. So Simone said, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just telling you that there's other ways to do this, Riley. Maybe a transgender category in all sports, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure, no one in sports is safe with you around. I don't mind what Simone Biles said there. She's not saying you're wrong for your beliefs. She's saying, well, then let's find a solution here. You don't have to by calling someone a boy who does not wish to be called a boy and does not identify as a boy, you're being nasty. And that's name calling as intended. So she would end her rant against Gaines with bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. Okay. Gaines then would respond by posting this. All the horrific sexual abuse Simone Biles witnessed and spoke out against caused by one man, yet believes women should be forced to strip naked in front of men to validate the man's feelings. Gaines wrote online per CBS News. You know how many gold medals you'd have if your inclusive dream came true? 0. Nice. So Simone Biles went through things we'll never understand. Her and fellow gymnasts went through things we'll never understand, can't comprehend, and frankly don't want to, but we want to support them. Sexual abuse, trauma, nobody asked for that. And yet you want to go there. That's how you want to defend yourself, Riley Gaines? By calling out what's gotta be one of the most horrific periods in Simone Biles' existence. She and other fellow gymnasts had to endure this monster, and this is what you want to do to further your argument? It means this is ugly, and you may not have a strong argument for your behavior as you think you do. Simone Biles had to endure predator. Other girls have to endure predatory men. Riley, come on. Jamel Hill would reply to Gaines. Time to tag team this one. Simone Biles is a far better human being than you'll ever be. You are a trash person who can't stop terrorizing a group of people for your own gain. Weaponizing sexual abuse is disgusting and shows the lack of integrity, honor, and decency. I promise you will one day need the compassion you lack. I don't mind Simone or Jamel. And I don't mind the assist from Jamel. Not that Simone needed it, but it was warranted. After getting further blowback, Gaines would reply, to make my position on both topics very, very, very clear, I hope Larry Nassar spends the rest of his life rotting away and miserable in prison. Gymnastics were failed by a system that protected an abusive man at the expense of girls' safety. Men don't belong in women's sports. Female athletes continue to be failed by a system that protects abusive men at the expense of the girls' safety. I don't know what she just made clear there. There's lots of great male trainers who look after female athletes, okay? And they deserve their positions. So I don't know what she made clear. She's just walking around in circles, biting her own ass. Okay, now there. That's what she's doing. Gaines would continue to milk the attention. She likes this, folks. This is how she makes a living. Various posts, including a video where she measured her height and repost AI-generated images of Biles and appearances on Fox News. I don't even understand what does this mean, Riley Gaines? What does this picture that you're posting here mean? You're too big for her? Intellectually, I would ask. Okay, so should we cue Sage Steele? You know she's around, lurking behind a bush somewhere. Here she is, coming to Riley Gaines's aid.
The brilliance of what really is, it's so sad, Laura, because she was America's sweetheart. She dropped out of the 2021 Olympics, mental health, and we all rallied around her. And then she came back and incredibly is now the most decorated gymnast in history. So we all loved her, and maybe some still do, of course. But to do this in such an angry way, a vile, attacking way, I think has shocked so many people. And the question is why. I texted Riley right away, and first I thought Simone's account must have been hacked. No, it was not, because as you said, she went back at her. But Riley said this came absolutely out of nowhere. And it is completely hypocritical, not only to what she has done for body positivity for women and girls, but also to her own post just a couple of years ago when she was on the floor mat and talking about how if she competed against men, she'd have no gold medals. So my question is why and what has changed? Or is this just the young woman who has always been this way, but has been hiding, but now that she's the GOAT and has 11 gold medals and 30 world championship medals, that now she can say what she wants? Or is someone paying her? Like, I don't know, but I do agree with Riley that she has fallen from grace in a way that I don't believe she'll recover.
Of course you agree with Riley. So Simone Biles is the ugly one. If Riley posts and calls someone a boy who does not identify as such, you don't even have to believe in that. If that's your choice, but you don't have to go out of your way to be hurtful. But of course, all that was ignored, okay? Sage, crack journalism there, crack commentary, of course. Get out of here with this. And attacking the mental health. Not everybody did support Simone Biles. There were some nasty, racist, vile things said about her when she had a case of the twisties. And then some other issues like, look, this is not easy being on top of the world here, fighting to get here all these years. Push comes to shove, and there I am. I'm winning everything, and people expect so much of me. You talk about low blows. Who's not going to recover? Who's getting paid to be this way? Who was always this person? Look in the mirror and repeat back to thee. Adding more fuel, former NASCAR driver Danica Patrick sided with Gaines, sharing that Biles has been red-pilled, being fed misinformation. This issue has a shelf life. I truly believe common sense will prevail. But until then, I'm grateful for people like Riley Gaines who are making sure no one gets away with it, Patrick said on Instagram, not to mention the fact that she actually lived it. Many men, women's sports is the woke mind virus and or another issue that requires therapy. Either way, it is so irrational. No, Danica. No. So I didn't hear Simone Biles defend anything. I heard her say, stop being so ugly and nasty, uplift the community. And if you don't agree with trans athletes in women's sports, let's figure out a solution. How is that damaging, denigrating, downing someone else? Do you see what they're doing here? Simone Biles said, stop being ugly and name calling here. It's wrong. Sage, Danica, Riley said, oh, you're just protecting trans athletes. And you may very well believe one should protect them. But that's not what was going on here. You cannot agree with anyone but cis women being in women's sports, but you don't have to be ugly. That's what Simone Biles is saying. And yet you want to keep going round after round. Charlie Kirk would join the fray, posting, unlike you, Riley never quit when things got hard. A case of the twisties. You could literally die. You go up in the air. You don't know which way's up or down. Could the team find out how many Olympic gold medals Charlie Kirk and Riley Gaines earned? I'm just curious and get back to me. They'll look that up. It's not going to take them long. Trust me. It's not going to take them long. Oh, they have the answer. None. And who cares? But you brought it up. Now you know about the twisties, Charlie Kirk? Okay. However, this poster pointed out Simone Biles took a break and then returned to win gold medals. She sure did. Clocked your tea, didn't she? Riley Gaines lost to 4 other women, cis women, and then quit swimming forever. She literally quit when things got hard. Now, look, I don't even think we need to compare people's victories, triumphs, struggles. But since you want to go there, Charlie, another poster wrote this. Riley Gaines did not lose to a trans woman. She tied with a trans woman. Riley Gaines lost to 4 other cis women. 4 women beat out both Lia Thomas and Riley Gaines, which proves that 1, there was no unfair advantage, and 2, Riley Gaines is slow AF. Now, is that fair? I don't think. She was an athlete who earned a spot and had talent. Maybe still does. But let's not twist the facts here. Cis women beat you routinely. So why are you only focused on a trans competitor who you tied with? I don't know, ask her. Keith Olbermann would join the discussion next. You've lost, Riley. Lord, no, you should be familiar with the feeling by now. Keith Olbermann is a cantankerous, feisty thing, isn't he? And I don't mind it one bit. He's cantankerous. And I don't mind it. She started it knowing that this is what she would get, and she'd probably make money off of it and get appearances, and people would come to her events and Danica on stage. So I don't mind Keith Olbermann. Keep on keeping on, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, Keith. It's needed. It's necessary. Earlier today, Biles would post this. I wanted to follow up from my last tweets. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. Current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for. I don't know how tall Simone Biles is, but she's a giant for that part of her statement. Remember, when you keep dialogue open and you have integrity, you have the ability to change your mind. You don't have to be perfect. She apologized. These are sensitive, complicated issues. You see that? She didn't say Riley was wrong. She didn't say she was right for her beliefs. She just said, let's try to figure this out. I truly don't have the answers or solutions to, but I believe it starts with empathy and respect. You don't say. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sports. My objection is to being singling out children for public scrutiny in ways that feel personal and harmful. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be the focus of criticism of a flawed system they have no control over. I believe sports organizations have a responsibility to come up with rules supporting inclusion while maintaining fair competition. We all want a future for sport that is fair, inclusive, and respectful. Who could be against that? No matter what you believe about cis women, trans women in women's sports, she's saying, let's just figure it out so everybody can have that respect that they deserve. There's nothing wrong with that. She apologized for a little low blow. Okay. What's the problem here? Oh, I get it, because this division is financially beneficial to people like Riley Gaines. Let's make a whole living off of this fight. You don't really want it to end, do you? You don't really want it to end. You want this to go on forever because this is how you're getting paid. Then what would you argue about? Kind of like a certain administration who likes to put up these culture wars. Listen, all people matter. Trans, cis, all people matter. Okay? But also, if you do the math, you might say just one athlete that you don't agree with in this position, in this competition, is worth the fight. But scale and context matter. This is not going on all over the world. This is not in every community or every race. Do we need to figure it out? Yes, absolutely. But stop turning this into some kind of endemic, okay? Epidemic, pandemic, whatever. Just stop. It's a lie. You're getting rich off of it and you are hurting people to do it. That's all, in my view. I shouldn't have the right to speak for an Olympic champion, a decorated champion like Simone, but I think that's what she was saying. I feel confident about that.